Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will learn about the explosive drama surrounding Monica Quartermain's will reading that has left the entire Port Charles community reeling in disbelief. The meticulously planned gathering at the Quartermain mansion unfolded like a scene from a high-stakes thriller, with family members assembling under the weight of grief and anticipation following Monica's passing. As the executor began reciting the terms, jaws dropped across the room, revealing allocations that defied expectations and ignited immediate whispers of foul play among the heirs. Long-standing alliances within the Quartermain dynasty appeared fractured overnight, as provisions favored unlikely parties and snubbed key figures who had once been close to the matriarch. This revelation not only upended inheritance expectations, but also dredged up buried resentments, turning the solemn event into a powder keg of accusations and side glances, inventing a new layer to the shock. Imagine if a hidden codicil surfaced mid-reading, detailing charitable bequests to obscure causes tied to Monica's medical legacy, further complicating the family's financial landscape and forcing them to confront her unyielding commitment to philanthropy even in death. Tracy Quartermain, ever the sharp-tongued sentinel of the family fortune, wasted no time voicing her outrage, her piercing gaze locking onto potential saboteurs who might have tampered with the document. Her suspicions zeroed in on Martin Gray, the cunning attorney whose shadowy maneuvers have long cast a pall over Port Charles' legal circles, suggesting his fingerprints were all over the revised clauses that benefited his interests. Tracy's intuition, honed from decades of corporate battles and personal vendettas, picked up on subtle irregularities like oddly phrased disclaimers and beneficiaries listed with cryptic annotations that screamed interference from an outsider with intimate knowledge. Adding inventive depth, picture Tracy poring over photocopies of the will late into the night, her magnifying glass revealing faint ink discrepancies that hint at a hasty forgery, perhaps executed in a dimly lit office overlooking the waterfront. This scrutiny underscores Tracy's role as the family's unofficial detective, unwilling to let Monica's final wishes be hijacked by those she deemed untrustworthy during her illness. Among the mounting clues implicating Martin, one overlooked artifact stands out as a potential smoking gun, tucked away in the recesses of recent plot developments that fans might have dismissed amid the chaos. Back in the sweltering heat of July, during a routine search at Drew Kane's residence, a weathered envelope from Longview emerged from a forgotten drawer, its elegant script addressed directly to Monica and brimming with revelations about a long-lost sibling connection. Initially, the discovery sparked theories centering on Drew's own tangled past, with speculations running wild about military secrets or hidden assets. But the true bombshell lay in the intimate correspondence between Monica and her newly revealed sister, Ronnie, whose letters painted a vivid portrait of shared hardships and unbreakable bonds. To expand creatively, envision the letters' contents unfolding like a parallel storyline, Ronnie detailing her life in Longview's elite circles, including whispered tales of corporate espionage that mirrored the Quartermain's own dramas, and Monica responding with heartfelt accounts of her heart condition's toll, forging an emotional alliance that transcended their separation. This epistolary treasure, coinciding perfectly with news of Erica Slezik's brief crossover appearance at Ronnie, transformed what seemed like a minor prop into a pivotal plot device. Overlooked by all except those with ulterior motives, Martin's fixation on this sisterly revelation appears far from coincidental, as his professional instincts likely sniffed out opportunities to exploit the dynamic for personal gain, especially given Monica's vulnerable state during her prolonged health battle. As a lawyer accustomed to navigating family estrangements and estate disputes, Martin would see the letters as leverage, perhaps using them to sway Monica toward revisions that aligned with his agenda, all while masking his involvement behind client-attorney privilege. Delving deeper with invented elements, suppose Martin secretly visited Monica in her hospital room, armed with the Longview letter, feigning concern over Ronnie's potential inheritance claims to plant seeds of doubt about Tracy's loyalty, ultimately convincing Monica to redirect assets in a way that sidelined her longtime rival. This manipulation fits Martin's profile as a strategist who thrives on emotional vulnerabilities, turning a heartfelt reunion into a weaponized secret that could unravel the Quartermain empire from within. The timing of his interest surfacing, just as Ronnie's presence stirred Port Charles, suggests a calculated play, where the sisters' bond became the perfect pretext for meddling in the will's final draft. Leveraging the newfound sisterhood between Monica and Ronnie aligns seamlessly with Martin's penchant for psychological warfare, particularly in his relentless campaign against Tracy, whom he views as the architect of his recent humiliations. Knowing Tracy's explosive reaction to Ronnie's arrival, envision her storming into the Metro Court lounge, demanding explanations and hurling insults about interlopers from out of town. Martin seized the moment to amplify the discord, ensuring the will's contents would exacerbate her fury. Creatively enhancing this feud, imagine a flashback sequence where Martin and Tracy clash over a bogus real estate deal titled Longview Properties, with Ronnie unwittingly caught in the crossfire, her testimony swaying Monica to favor Martin's side and cementing the attorney's grudge. By invoking the sisters' letters, Martin not only honored Monica's wish for family reconciliation, but twisted it into a punitive strike against Tracy, reallocating shares in ELQ that had been earmarked for her control. This move scores a decisive victory for Martin, as Tracy's public meltdown at the reading, complete with dramatic finger-pointing, highlights how deeply the alterations cut, transforming grief into a battlefield of egos and estates. Drew Kane's conspicuous omission from Monica's will adds another layer of intrigue, potentially signaling a deliberate erasure rather than an oversight. Given their once tender mentor-protege dynamic that had blossomed into genuine affection, Monica had openly championed Drew's return to Port Charles, viewing him as a stabilizing force amid the family's turmoil, often confiding in him about her fears for the Quartermain legacy during quiet evenings at the mansion. However, Drew's string of ethical lapses, from corporate espionage allegations to romantic entanglements that divided loyalties, may have eroded her trust, prompting a last-minute amendment that excluded him from substantial bequests. Inventing new facets, suppose Monica penned a private note to Drew, just weeks before her death, expressing disappointment over his alliance with Martin, but leaving a symbolic token, like a family heirloom watch, as a bittersweet reminder of better times, only for the will's broader snub to overshadow it. This absence fuels speculation. Was it Monica's independent decision, influenced by whispers of Drew's unreliability, or did external pressures, like Martin's subtle lobbying, tip the scales? Regardless, it underscores the fragility of forgiveness in Port Charles, where past sins linger like shadows over future fortunes. Yet Martin's allegiance to Drew remains opportunistic at best, as evidenced by his reluctant reinstatement in Drew's camp solely to quash an inquiry into Stella's background, a concession that reeks of temporary truce rather than true partnership. This quid pro quo arrangement hints at deeper machinations, where Martin might have exploited the will to settle old scores by excising Drew's name, framing it as collateral damage in his broader assault on the Quartermains. To add analytical depth with fresh inventions, consider a tense confrontation in Martin's office, where Alexis Davis drops the bombshell of Drew's exclusion, prompting Martin to smirk knowingly while hinting at unforeseen variables in Monica's directives, all while plotting his next move against Tracy. This clue branches into myriad possibilities. Perhaps Martin fabricated evidence of Drew's disloyalty, using forged documents from the Longview letters to portray him as a threat to family unity. Or maybe he simply capitalized on Monica's waning health to rush through changes without full scrutiny. In any scenario, the omission amplifies the will's punitive tone, positioning Martin as the unseen puppeteer, pulling strings to dismantle his enemies one clause at a time. Tracy's aggressive forays into Martin's personal life, dredging up scandals involving his former spouses to undermine his credibility, have only fueled his thirst for retribution, transforming their rivalry into a saga of escalating tit-for-tats. From the outset, Martin's collaboration with Drew stemmed from this animus, blending lucrative consulting fees with the satisfaction of watching Tracy squirm under the weight of legal woes and family betrayals. Expanding inventively, recall a pivotal boardroom showdown where Tracy exposes Martin's ties to a shady Longview firm, prompting him to counter with anonymous leaks about her own financial improprieties, setting the stage for the will's dramatic twist as the ultimate payback. The monetary incentive was icing on the cake, high-stakes Quartermain dealings promising windfalls, but the real prize was chaos in Tracy's domain, where every altered bequest chipped away at her ironclad control. This vendetta, rooted in years of mutual sabotage, illustrates how personal grudges in Port Charles often eclipse blood ties, with Martin emerging as the gleeful instigator of familial discord. Their latest skirmish, just prior to the will's unveiling, crystallized the intensity of this ongoing war. As Martin cornered Tracy amid the somber atmosphere of Monica's funeral service at the church, with a sly grin, he delivered the stinging news of Drew's impending lawsuit against her, detailing claims of defamation and interference that could strip her of key assets. All while the organ music swelled in the background, Tracy, undeterred, physically ejected him from the premises in a whirlwind of righteous indignation, shoving him toward the exit as mourners gawked in stunned silence. But not before Martin savored her rattled composure, creatively elaborating. Picture the exchange laced with barbed references to Ronnie's letters, Martin taunting Tracy about sisterly secrets that Monica held dear, planting the seed of doubt that would bloom into full-blown suspicion during the reading. This preemptive strike not only heightened the tension, but also positioned Martin advantageously as the will's surprises amplified the lawsuit's leverage, turning Tracy's world upside down in a meticulously orchestrated double blow. As the dust settles on this seismic event, the evidence overwhelmingly points to Martin as the mastermind behind the will's alterations, channeling his vendetta against Tracy through cunning revisions that honor Monica's vulnerabilities while exacting revenge. The Longview letters, Drew's exclusion, and the siblings' bond all converge as threads in a tapestry of manipulation, weaving a narrative where loyalty is courtesy and betrayal the norm. Yet Port Charles thrives on unpredictability. Could another player, like a vengeful relative or even Ronnie herself, have intervened? The Quartermain saga continues to captivate with its labyrinth of motives and secrets, promising more twists in the chapters ahead. Do you believe Martin orchestrated this to torpedo Tracy's legacy? Or is there a darker force at work in Monica's final farewell? Next, we will learn about the intense drama surrounding Carly Spencer as she risks everything, including her freedom, with a possible false confession to save her son Michael Corinthos from imprisonment. In the latest twist from Port Charles, Carly's fierce loyalty to her family is pushing her into dangerous territory, where one wrong move could land her behind bars while unraveling the lives of those she loves most. Fans have been glued to their screens, watching as Carly navigates this high-stakes investigation into the shooting of Drew Kane, a mystery that's left everyone questioning loyalties and hidden motives. The story heats up as Carly stands her ground during a tense confrontation with Commissioner Anna Devane, passionately vouching for Michael's innocence in a way that only a mother's unyielding love could muster. Picture the scene in the dimly lit interrogation room on October 3rd, where Carly's voice rises with emotion, recounting Michael's alibi and dismissing any notion that he could harm his Uncle Drew. Her words laced with the raw desperation of someone fighting for her child's future. This isn't just a casual chat, it's a battle of wits, with Anna probing deeper into Carly's connections and past actions, forcing Carly to reveal just how far she'd go to shield Michael from the long arm of the law. Adding layers to this exchange, Carly might draw on her own turbulent history in Port Charles. Think back to her days entangled in corporate espionage and family feuds at the Quartermain estate, highlighting why her testimony carries such weight and suspicion. While many devoted General Hospital viewers share Carly's doubt about Michael's guilt, the Port Charles Police Department is so easily convinced, keeping him squarely in their crosshairs amid mounting evidence that doesn't quite add up. Speculation runs wild among fans. Was it a setup by a shadowy figure from Drew's military past, or perhaps a rival in the media world seeking to silence him before a big expose? Whatever the truth, Michael's reputation as a devoted father and businessman hangs by a thread, making Carly's intervention feel all the more urgent and heroic. To deepen this narrative, imagine Michael pacing the Quartermain living room, his mind racing with memories of Wiley's laughter and Amelia's tiny hands, fueling his determination to clear his name without dragging his mother down with him. Yet, the pressure builds as anonymous tips flood the PCPD hotline, painting Michael as the prime suspect in a crime that could shatter the Corinthos legacy forever. As the October 3rd episode unfolds, Anna's sharp investigative skills turn the spotlight onto Carly herself. Recognizing the fierce protective instinct that defines her character after years of navigating betrayals and scandals, Anna, ever the seasoned operative, picks apart Carly's story with precision, noting inconsistencies that could tie her directly to the crime scene and shifting the interrogation's momentum in a heartbeat. This pivot isn't accidental. It's a testament to Anna's experience with Port Charles' elite families, where secrets like hidden affairs and forged documents often surface to complicate justice. Inventing a new twist here, suppose Anna uncovers an old surveillance video from the Quartermain grounds showing Carly slipping into a side entrance late at night. Her face obscured, but her silhouette unmistakable, a detail that escalates the tension and forces Carly to improvise on the spot. Fans are buzzing online, debating whether Anna's empathy for Carly's maternal drive will lead to momentary alliance or seal her fate in this web of deception. One critical revelation from that grilling session confirms Carly's unrestricted access to the opulent Quartermain mansion, a sprawling estate filled with relics from generations past, including Edward Quartermain's prized collection of antique firearms. This access opens a Pandora's box of possibilities. Carly could have easily wandered into the locked study, her familiarity with the layout stemming from years of family gatherings and whispered confidences. Envision the dusty shelves lined with polished revolvers, each one whispering tales of Quartermain power plays, and Carly's gloved hand, perhaps from a recent gala brushing against the very weapon now linked to Drew's injury. To expand creatively, add a subplot where Tracy Quartermain, ever the meddler, recalls seeing Carly near the display case during a heated argument over ELQ shares, her testimony potentially swaying the investigation toward Carly as the unlikely culprit. This element not only heightens the drama, but underscores the Quartermain's role as unwitting pawns in a larger conspiracy. Even Sonny Corinthos, Carly's ex and eternal confidant, senses trouble brewing with the flimsy alibi provided by the enigmatic Jack Brennan, a man whose shadowy connections raise more questions than answers. Sonny, pacing his waterfront penthouse with a glass of whiskey in hand, confides in his bodyguard about the alibi's fragility, how Brennan's ties to international intrigue might crumble under scrutiny, leaving Carly exposed. Drawing from Sonny's street-smart instincts honed over decades of mob dealings, he predicts the PCPD will poke holes in the story faster than a bullet through paper. Introducing an invented layer. Imagine Sonny discovering a forged document in Brennan's files that links back to Carly's hotel empire, forcing him to confront her about the risks she's taking for Michael's sake. His concern isn't just protective, it's laced with regret over their shared past, where sacrifices like this have torn them apart before. With these threads weaving together like a tightening noose, it feels inevitable that Carly could soon find herself in handcuffs, the cold metal a stark contrast to the warmth of her family bonds. The evidence pile grows, witness statements placing her near the scene, digital footprints from her phone pinging the Quartermain area, and now the alibi's cracks, all pointing to a woman cornered by circumstance. Yet, in true soap opera fashion, Carly's arc might veer towards self-sacrifice, her fear of Michael's downfall overriding any caution as she watches the walls close in. Fans theorize this could involve a midnight meeting with Dante Falconeri, where Carly drops cryptic hints about her involvement, planting seeds of doubt to redirect the blame. Such a move would not only buy Michael time, but also ignite a media frenzy in Port Charles, with headlines screaming about a mother's desperate gambit. On the flip side, Carly's resolve hardens at the thought of Michael returning to prison, a nightmare scenario that would hand custody of Wiley and Amelia back to Willow Tate, a woman Carly views as emotionally volatile amid her own health battles. Willow's instability, marked by recent relapses and strained relationships, fuels Carly's distress visions of Wiley missing school events or Amelia without proper nurturing haunt her sleepless nights. Expanding this family dynamic, consider how Carly envisions Michael's role as the steady anchor for the children, teaching Wiley business acumen like his grandfather and cradling Amelia through her first steps. Losing that would be unbearable, especially after the Corinthos clan's hard-fought battles for stability post-cancer scares and custody wars. Carly's internal monologue might rage with memories of her own childhood neglect, vowing not to let history repeat for her grandchildren. If Carly dives headfirst into a fabricated confession, claiming she pulled the trigger in a fit of rage over Drew's interference in her life, the fallout would ripple through Port Charles like a shockwave. Bold and unyielding, she'd march into the PCPD station, her chin held high, recounting a detailed yet entirely invented sequence of events, sneaking into the mansion, grabbing the gun, and confronting Drew in a heated exchange about family secrets. This act of valor, however, comes at a steep price, devastating young Donna Corinthos, who idolizes her mother as her rock and confidant. Donna's world would shatter. Picture her tear-streaked face at school, whispering to friends about her mom's mistake, unaware of the deeper sacrifice. Yet Carly, ever the strategist, banks on Sonny stepping up, his paternal instincts guiding him to envelop Donna in love and security amid the chaos. Ultimately, Carly's top priority crystallizes around preserving Michael's freedom, allowing him to thrive as the devoted dad Wiley and Amelia deserve, complete with bedtime stories and park outings that build their unbreakable bond. This isn't mere sentiment, it's a calculated choice rooted in Carly's evolution from reckless opportunist to family guardian, her experiences with loss sharpening her focus. In quieter moments, she might reflect on past regrets like her divorce from Sonny or clashes with Jocelyn, realizing that empowering Michael redeems those chapters, adding inventive depth. Suppose Carly consults with a trusted ally like Nina Reeves, who advises against the confession but ultimately supports her, revealing a hidden alliance forged in shared betrayals. The scenario could erupt impulsively, with Carly witnessing Michael's despair during a family dinner gone awry, her mama bear instincts kicking in as she blurts out her guilt to a stunned room. No time for second thoughts, she'd double down, providing forensic details pulled from police leaks to make her story airtight, all while her heart pounds with the weight of deception. This raw, emotional outburst would echo classic GH moments, like Laura Spencer's bold stands or Bobby's maternal defenses, cementing Carly's place in soap legend. As the dust settles, the PCPD might waver, torn between her confession and lingering doubts about the true shooter, perhaps a vengeful figure from Drew's Quartermain lineage. No matter the path Carly chooses, she remains ensnared in a whirlwind of Port Charles intrigue, from courtroom battles to unexpected alliances that keep viewers on edge. Stay tuned as the saga unfolds with more explosive revelations, family confrontations, and twists that redefine loyalty. ABC General Hospital promises jaw-dropping developments ahead. We'll keep delivering the hottest spoilers to fuel your obsession with every dramatic turn.